What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in. Today we have another exciting unboxing to dig into for you guys. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor. Hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it, everyone. It really helps get these videos pushed out there so more people can check them out. Feel free to let me know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So we have a knife coming in from Real Steel. Huge shout out to them for sending this over for us to take a look at. I am really excited about this one. We are taking a look at the Rokot, and I believe this is a fairly new model in the Real Steel lineup. I have not been into this yet. I just took these out of the mailer, and I'm pretty excited. It's going to be your standard two-stage box, paperwork, microfiber cloth, and we will have our knife housed in the microfiber cloth. And take a look at this, guys. Oh man, look at those tolerances, perfectly centered right out of the box. So we have a full titanium handle, and this is a textured G10 inlay, and it does protrude all the way around a little bit. It gives it a nice look. Man, you have the flathead hardware there for the pivot. Oh man, geared titanium backspacer, little integrated lanyard hole back here. Look at that nice minimal milled titanium pocket clip. Oh, this thing is beautiful. Look at that blade. Nice satin finish on this guy. I forget what steel. So this is an Ivan Braganowitz design, and he does some amazing work. He is working his way up into my favorite designers, because you can tell, coming in S35, you can tell that Ivan has a design philosophy for a tool, for a cutting tool. That is what he is designing, and that is what Real Steel is producing with his designs. They make an awesome team, an awesome combination, in my opinion. He does a lot of designs for Real Steel, and more often than not, they are really well done, and they take care of all the functional things of the knives. They typically come with extremely good edges right out of the box, solid lockup, great ergonomics, very easy to carry. Typically, this one maybe not, but typically they are going to be left-hand friendly. I think this one might be right-hand only. That's the way it's appearing anyway. But more often than not, they are left-hand friendly, so they kind of can swing between a righty and a lefty. Now, this is going to be a flipper only here. There is a fuller and a chamfer to that fuller, but I think it might be ultimately too hard to get to. I can usually reverse flick and thumb flick even some blades that are very hard to get to, but this one I think might be just a little out of my reach. So basically meaning this is going to be a rear flipper only, which with the right tuning and the right flipper tab is completely fine with me. And the way this is done, it is so minimal, but you can just get a nice little push button on this thing and it just thwacks out of there. Very, very nice. And you can also do the light switch with this guy. Very, very comfortable in hand. I told Real Steel this design looks extremely promising. So we'll take a little closer look up at this guy, and why don't we get our Issuing Stitches Hank out here and see what this thing looks like in the pocket. Check the retention of that clip. So it's standard milled clip, and it's really cool because We have hidden hardware for that milled clip, so it keeps it just really nice and clean. You'll have a little bit poking out of the pocket there, but going to be well under that 1/2 inch. And the retention feels pretty good, especially when it feels good on this thinner hank. That means it's going to be even better on a thicker seam, right? Or a thicker pocket. It's going to be even better. So pretty good retention on that thing. And a lot of times with Real Steel's knives, it doesn't matter if we're talking about liner locks, crossbar locks, frame locks, they take some time to break in. So in other words, this knife might not have the snappiest action or the best closing action, but over time, they start to really break in and get extremely smooth. I've said it time and time again now over the last couple Real Steel videos, and they are a company to no longer be overlooked. I am going to continue putting Real Steel's name out there in the YouTube sphere, because, you know, for the people who want a cutting tool, something that's reliable and dependable and comfortable and easy to carry, Real Steel is up there with the best tier, in my opinion, when it comes to a full functional tool, a cutting tool, right? And there's 2 other companies I place up there with them. It's Real Steel, Cold Steel, and Off Grid Knives. Those are the 3 companies in my experience that just give you a lot of value, and they provide you with the function before anything else. And that makes them great utility style knives, great user knives, EDC knives, work knives, whatever the case may be. They make fantastic tools, and Real Steel, it has just really worked their way up my favorites list when it comes to just an all-around good knife. And this is going to be an awesome size for me personally. It's going to be more of a large knife, not small or medium. This has basically worked its way up into the larger size. We can go ahead and give it just a quick measurement. I mean, it's not going to be massive, guys, but we're getting over 3.5 inches of cutting edge, more like 3.6, and then 3 3/4 of total blade length. And then we are coming down at 8 1/4 strong overall. So definitely a full size or large knife. I have XL size hands, and I can get a perfectly comfortable grip with a little bit of room to spare there. So that shows you what kind of size we are really dealing with. And as far as that flipper tab, that is a unique take on a flipper tab. Look, you can barely notice that it's even there. The jimping is done well, but the way that you can just kind of push that thing down, you don't even really need to light switch it. You can just kind of put your finger on the top corner here and just push down, and it really pushes that blade out. And it is just flush with the pivot there, maybe a touch higher than the center of the pivot, which is good. The higher the flipper tab, the more leverage you can get on that flipper tab. And as this thing breaks in, maybe gets a drop of oil or 2, it's going to get even snappier, even better action. I don't know if this is on... I feel like this is on washers as well. They do a lot of their knives. Yeah, it's on nylon washers. No. Is that bearings? I can't tell what that is. It looks like... We're going to have to take this thing apart because I need to see what is going on around this pivot. It feels like... It feels like washers to me, but we're going to have to open this thing up and take a look. We won't do that in this video. We'll do that in a separate video. We're also going to be taking its brother apart as well, which is my favorite knife this year, the Real Steel Evolution. Just a beautiful design. Real Steel absolutely killed the Evolution. Just huge fan of this knife. And speaking of this knife, I will link this down below. I will link the Rokot down below. I think that's how it's pronounced, but I'll have them both linked down below, and I may have a coupon code still for this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's still active, and I should have a coupon code for the Rokot as well. Just double check down in the description, and those links, codes, all that stuff does help the channel out if you use them. Entirely up to you though, of course. So why don't we see what kind of edge comes on the Rokot here. Look how clean it cuts that paper. Ridiculous, guys. Ugh. When a knife can cut this paper, it has a good edge on it. When it doesn't struggle at all with the paper and it just glides through it like that, that means it has a extremely good edge on it. That is ridiculous. And that's what I'm talking about, guys, right there. I mean, I could show you, you know, a knife that would probably have trouble doing that. Let's see. So this is still cutting it, but you can just see how it doesn't quite, and this is Hogue, Magna Cut, and it still cuts. It's very thin, but it doesn't cut it quite as good. Real Steel just does a phenomenal job, guys. So we'll take a little closer look here, and we are going to check this lock. But let's, we already checked the centering, and there's definitely not a lot of room for air in there. This is perfectly centered, so very, very nice. There is no detent lash in there, and there is no pivot lash. Let's hit the camera, and we'll open this up. There's no up and down play. And there's no side-to-side play. So let's check this thing. Let's check the lockup first. And it's sitting pretty there, about 45%, creeping up on 50%. We have positive lockout there. Let's give this a couple taps and double checking. We'll close it, open it back up. And that would have done it right there, but we'll give it one more in the middle here. Solid, baby. I still have yet, guys, and it's been a while for any knife, any company, but I have not had a Real Steel with any style of lock, crossbar lock, frame lock, liner lock, and I've really beat on a few. Because I've had a few in for extras type purposes, and I've really went hard on a few of their crossbar locks and a few of their liner locks, and they make a very good knife, guys. You can just tell they pay attention to the details of the knives. They really focus in on what makes a good knife good. Good edges, good heat treats, comfortable ergos, easy to carry. They just nail solid lockup. And speaking of that, a nice chamfered area to get to the lock bar, and then they chamfer and jimp the lock bar. Just a phenomenal knife. Just another phenomenal knife from Real Steel is what I should say. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us, guys, because if they continue to put stuff out like the Evolution, the Rokot, the Perix, I mean, they just released a bunch of knives that are all very, very good. Even the Kakashi, which is one that's not quite my style, but it's still really well done. They just continue to do a phenomenal job. You'll have to let me know. What do you think of Real Steel? I really would like to hear your guys' opinion on Real Steel. Do you have one yet? Are you thinking about picking up a Real Steel? Don't hesitate to get one because I don't think you will be disappointed. I will put my word on that. If you're looking for a cutting tool, pick up a Real Steel, a design that you like, and I believe that you will be happy with it. Even if you don't use my link or my code or anything, I think you will be happy with a Real Steel knife if you're looking for a cutting tool. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, guys. If you're new here, we release videos just like this one every single day. Hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.